give me a run for my money. There's nobody, no one to outrun me. So give me a run for my money. Sitting bubbly, feeling lovely, living lovely, just love. Oh, just love me. I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. Just love me, yeah. I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. If I didn't ride blade on curb, would you still love me? If I made up my mind at work, would you still love me? Keep it 100, I'd rather you trust me than to love me. Keep it a whole 100, don't got you got nothing now. I got something, yeah. We gonna function, yeah. No assumption, I feel like Tyson with it. Knock it out twice with it. Only for the night, I'm kidding. Only for life, only for life, only for life, let's get it. Hit that shoulder lean, I know it's coming over me. Backstroke oversea, I know what you need. Already on 10, oh money coming. All feeling go out, the feeling don't drought. The party won't end, love me. If I didn't ride blade on curb, would you still love me? If I made up my mind at work, would you still love me? Keep it 100, I'd rather you trust me than to love me. Keep it a whole 100, don't got you, I got nothing. Run for my money. There is nobody, no one to outrun me. So give me a run for my money. Sipping bubbly, feeling lovely, living lovely, yeah. Just love me, yeah. I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. Just love me, yeah. I wanna be with you. I wanna be, I'm on the way. We ain't got no time to waste. Pop in your gum on the way. Am I in the way? I don't wanna pressure you none. I want your blessing today. Oh, by the way, open the door, by the way. Told you that I'm on the way, yeah, I'm on the way. I know connection is vague. Pick up the phone for me, babe, yeah, we be jamming. Bad attitude from your nanny, curves and your hips from your mammy. Remember Gardenia, I took the studio camera. I know Top will be mad at me. I had to do it. I want your body, your music. I want the big one to prove it. Look what you made. Told you that I'm on the way. I'm like an exit away, yeah. If I didn't ride blade on curb, would you still love me? If I made up my mind at work, would you still love me? Keep it 100, I'd rather you trust me than to love me. Keep it a whole 100, don't got you, I got nothing. Give me a run for my money. There is nobody, no one to outrun me. So give me a run for my money. Sipping bubbly, feeling lovely, living lovely, just love me. I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. Just love wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. All right, well, my guitar is sounding weird today, but we're going to make it work. I just want to say welcome. Thanks for joining us here at the meeting place, and I'd like to pray for us as we get going. It's just such a great time we get to spend together on Sundays. Heavenly Father, thank you for being with us, for blessing us, giving us the ability to do this, for giving us our homes and our places that we can watch you and watch this from, and just keep our community going. And I just ask that you give us a real sense of your presence this morning as we come together and learn from you and worship. Amen. No, worth a try. Give me one reason to stay here. You gotta make me change my mind. Baby, I got your number, and I know that you got mine. You know that I called you. Yes, I called you many times. You can call me, baby. You can call me anytime. But you got to call me. Give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn my back around. Around, 'cause I don't wanna leave you lonely. You better make me change my mind. Well, I don't want no one to squeeze me. They might take away my life. No, I don't want no one to squeeze me. Take away my life. I just want someone to hold me, oh, and rock me through the night. This youthful I can love you, oh, and give you what you need. Oh, this youthful I can love you, baby, and give you what you need. But I'm too good to go chasing you around, wasting my precious energy. Give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn my back around. Give me one reason to stay here, baby, and I'll turn my back around. I said I don't wanna leave you lonely. You gotta make me change my mind. Because I don't wanna leave you lonely. You better make me change my mind.
They will do things.
Good morning. Welcome here. I'm Lauren. I'm part of the speaking team here. I'm so glad to be here with you. Happy Father's Day, dads. We are celebrating you today. Well, it's been really fun to see some of the pictures coming in that you've been sending. Again, thank you for doing that. And please keep sending them. The address is on your screen. And, you know, if you've checking us out here just in the last couple of weeks, or maybe today's your first day, we'd love to see where you're watching as well. Feel free to send them in to us. Well, we're in the middle of a series called Emerge, where we've been taking a look and exploring, some of those imposed changes of lockdown and maybe finding out some of the ones we may want to keep, as we head back into our new normal and we merge into that. This last week, I read an article. It popped in front of my screen, actually, kind of like how that happens, where there was an article about gathering some data from a fairly loose survey, asking people what it was that they most wanted to keep. And there was a very clear top 8. The one that hit the top by a huge margin was this: reducing consumerism. And this is what the author wrote. Many people told me that they want to spend less money shopping for new material goods like gadgets and clothes. A long period of being shut in and not spending as much has led to the realization that so much of our consumer behavior is about instant gratification, not lasting happiness. Well, the author went on to summarize, the feedback that she received was about this renewed focus and the whole idea about being more mindful of how people spent their money. It's not that surprising, is it? It certainly isn't to me, because I know our family, we experienced a little bit of joy, really, in our thriftiness over this season where we've had to plan a little bit more in order to be out shopping. Well, we're talking about money today. It's one of those topics, that few people are comfortable talking about, and, it's totally understandable because even in our own families, we often don't talk about money. Never mind when there's company around, and some of us, even with our friends, it's actually pretty uncommon to talk about the real stuff around money. But I'm honestly a little bit excited to be talking about money here today because over the last couple years, it's actually become a topic that I've grown to love to dive into, particularly in my role as a business coach. But kind of the side story to that is it's simply been a really fun catalyst that's actually helped my personal discovery, into the baggage and the beliefs and the behaviors that are so common to most of us and how it affects our lives, mine included, and how some of those behaviors, we don't even realize what's going on behind the scenes. And I've become increasingly aware of the repair that's actually needed for most of us around abundance and around money. Here's the thing, early in our lives, we learned about lack, we learned about abundance long before we knew how to do math or had any idea of the concept of money. Our families taught us about money, about lack, about abundance, and it came down the pipes to them as well, a generation after generation of beliefs and ideas around money that landed on us. Ideas like, better spend that money, enjoy it, won't last. Money doesn't grow on trees. How about this one? Money's evil. How about this? We're not very good at money, around here. People with money are greedy. We work hard for our money, so you better be careful. You know what? The list, there's hundreds of these. And, maybe drop some in the chat box if some pop into your mind that were a part of your family growing up. One idea from my family, that was rarely spoken, but really I took it on very strongly into adulthood. And it's kind of interesting. It was just on that clip that we just saw. Here it is. There is never enough. And as an adult, it doesn't seem to really matter how much income I have, how secure my job is. I've really had this underlying fear that it wasn't enough. And my personality's way of coping with that is to try to avoid it and just kind of carry on and, not focus on the money and hope it's all going to be okay. It's a terrible strategy, I know. But it's really interesting. I'd encourage you to do some research on this. There's around 4 top personality types about how we manage and approach money. And I claim, one of the stupidest ones, which is actually, to just avoid it. And pretending to, that it's all okay really does nothing effective. It just, evens out the stress over a long period of time. It's ridiculous. Well, this last week, I had a pretty eventful week. Last Monday, in one fell swoop, not only my week, but my future changed. You see, over the last 28 months or so, I have been contracting as a business coach for a company in the US. And over the last, actually couple months, but really in the last couple of weeks, it's been concentrated that there's been some changes, mostly in tax laws, that have really made it impossible for me to continue. So as of Monday the 15th, that was like 6 sleeps ago, it was my last day. So Tuesday morning, I woke up and my life, the hours in my day are completely different. And so is my income. It's mostly dropped to zero. And there's no specific time frame about when that will change. And if I let my thoughts, go down the trail of like, oh my gosh, when am I going to have work again? And where's the money going to come from? And oh, where's it all going to happen and when? I can really get alarmed. But, over the last many months, probably close to a year, I've had this interesting sensation of anticipation. Very clearly, really, that change is coming. Maybe, be better be ready for it, and that it's going to actually be good. Have you ever had that happen to you? I think most people have, where you have a sense of excitement and you really sometimes don't even know what it's about. Well, that's kind of what I've been experiencing, probably almost for the last year, where it's periodic, but it's consistent. And although I don't know the specific, steps or, what my life is exactly going to look like, I do have a business that I will be reviving. So it's not like I have nothing in front of me, but I certainly, it's not formed yet and I don't have the time frame in front of me. But in the midst of all of this, I have experienced a remarkable peace. And it's actually not from the denial that I just claimed to be part of, avoiding my life. It's actually not that. Instead, it's that I feel really strongly that God is looking out for me. But more than that He has been preparing the way for me long before now. This isn't a big surprise to Him. He's ready. And one of the reasons for this sense of peace that I've been able to experience over the last couple years, I have been learning new rhythms, of slowing down, kind of like what Gary talked about last week. And if you missed that, I encourage you, go back to the YouTube channel or the TMP app and check it out. It was really awesome. So I've been learning, to take a Sabbath every week, to unplug and actually slow down enough to kind of be present with myself. To spend a couple minutes, a few minutes of silence throughout my days, which has really helped me with something unexpected over the last couple years. It's this ability of new ways to listen and new ways of actually receiving from God in different ways. I still feel totally like a newbie, learning, these slower rhythms, but I'm noticing and enjoying how much significantly more relaxed that I am on the inside. Well, this week with a completely cleared schedule, I have felt tempted to race into planning the next thing and getting it all organized, but I've spent instead some time, a little bit more time in silence, journaling, actually being present with myself, which for me is a huge victory, just that I'm able to take some more time to be quiet. But there's this verse that keeps running through my mind, and kind of loudly at times when I've needed it. And it's from Psalm 46. It says, "Be still and know that I am God." And you may already be familiar with that verse, but something jumped out at me, even just while I was writing it down here to prepare to share today. Notice that the be still comes before the knowing. That has certainly been my experience. Well, as we take a look at money this morning, we're actually looking at a broader view of money in the context of abundance. I want to throw some ideas out for you to chew on, and at the same time kind of pull back the curtain, on some of the sources of angst that God has been helping me untangle in the last couple of years, and particularly in the last couple of weeks. And just to be transparent, my life is closely linked to Jesus. I believe He knows what's best for me, and as a result, I go to what He has to say a lot to kind of inform me and guide me in my life. And Jesus spoke some words. Actually, he was describing why in the world He came to this planet, why He walked the dusty roads of life to actually show us how to live. Listen to this. This is what He said. "I came," Jesus said, "that you may have life and have it abundantly." Overflowing, that means. More than enough. Well, if that's true, that Jesus came, for you and I to live life in abundance, why do we struggle with lack of abundance in jolly every area of our life? In our time, in our relationships, certainly in our finances, in our generosity. What is that about? Well, there are some underlying factors that have really helped me to understand some of what's really at play in my own areas of lack when I'm stressed and when I'm anxious about money. And I'd like to unpack these together and see if maybe some of them will help you as well. I have found it really, really interesting and to discover that what's going on in how I pay attention to how I spend my money. Let me say that again. It's really important to notice how you manage your money. There is a link, and it's super fascinating, between our financial patterns, the way that we handle money, and our internal selves. Our habits, our beliefs can reveal a great deal to us about what's going on underneath, deep down. And here's what I mean. Money itself is not evil. It's not good. It's actually neutral. But it is a form of power. And that's why many of us have come to believe that it's evil. Because when the person who has the money, whatever's going on inside is coming out. People who, we think, oh, money's really good because we've seen people that have great character and have money. So it reveals to us so much of what's in our hearts. So I encourage you, start watching with curiosity about how you interact with money. And here's what happens. It's like a floodlight goes on in the dark room, and all of a sudden you're able to see what you didn't see before. It reveals aspects of our character, our beliefs, about where we've been putting our trust and our hopes and our security. And it also reveals a whole list, a host of ideas that have been influencing us that, for the most part, we have not even been aware of. The belief that has been driving me, really cramping my perspective around abundance over the years has been this, that there isn't enough. And the thing that's a bit odd, I know in my own head that, of course, I don't really believe that I'm, likely going to be starving or going to have to go sleep in the rain. I don't believe that in my head, and yet, nevertheless, there's this underlying sense of desperation that really creates consistent stress. And maybe the same is true for you. There's some ideas in a book called Money and the Prosperous Soul. It's by a guy named Stephen De Silva. I highly recommend his book and his online course, but I want to highlight a particular idea, that there's actually a word that encapsulates this basic feeling that I've been talking about that's plagued me most of my life. It's a single word, and it's this: poverty. Poverty says there is never enough. And if you dig a little deeper, you actually discover that there's actually a personal, devastating addition to this core belief. And it's this, that there is never enough for me. And as I've discovered myself, it's actually really deadly, because deep down, in places that I wasn't even consciously aware, I realized that I thought I am not loved, or I'm not worthy of love, which actually equaled something really deep, that I'm not worthy to receive what I need. Wow. And it's only recently, literally in the last 2 weeks, that with some help from a counselor, then I've been able to unravel, another layer of this devastating rat's nest of beliefs that has been fueling me for so long, and do another layer of work around replacing that lie with what's true. I am loved enough to receive abundantly more than what I need. And you are too. Well, with this framework around poverty, it's really easy to see how this seems to encapsulate, poverty seems to encapsulate the human condition and our need for layers and layers of healing in really our deepest core, the core of our very identity. And this actually is the whole, the whole God story in a nutshell. The whole biblical narrative is revealing God's longing, his intention, his desire to bring abundant wholeness to every part of us that's broken, including our broken beliefs around money and abundance that cause us so much stress. Well, as you can see, there's a lot of aspects to poverty. I'm kind of curious what you're noticing coming up for you. there's a lot of aspects to this. And I want to share with you some ideas, again, from this author, Stephen DeSilva, a financial ninja guy who has a lot of wisdom in this area. So listen to some of these and see what might pop up for you. Poverty creates anxiety and fear. Because when you live paycheck to paycheck, you have this sense of constantly living under this very dark cloud over your head that you're not sure when that big expense is going to come, and you know it's going to come. And whether maybe if you ever get to the point where you actually feel comfortable financially or begin to feel that way, there's still that underlying terror that you're going to lose it all. That guy in the clip, he was like a trillionaire. And he was emotionally just, paralyzed. He couldn't even pay some money to help his youngest son because he was so scared of losing it all. Well, sometimes poverty shows up for us in hoarding things, in like being sure, well, I might need that thing in the future, so we keep holding on to things in that fear. Poverty beliefs can be characterized really as a resignation or a feeling of powerlessness that can also show up for us in ways like we feel like a victim, like perpetually, like stuff that just happens to me, and that's kind of what we've come to be resigned to. Poverty mentality leads us to reach for instant gratification. It's kind of, that impulse purchases. And at the same time, avoid what's necessary in the planning area of planning to invest well and planning, to be good stewards of our money. Poverty makes us feel enslaved and ruled by our finances. We actually even get a sense of feeling trapped financially. And here's a big one. Poverty actually makes you hide. It actually makes you not speak up. You feel that your voice isn't important, that your perspective or your opinion is not important, especially related to someone else's opinion. Poverty makes us believe that you can't keep your money. It is going to just run through like water, and there's just never enough. It kind of tag teams on that. And a sense of poverty can choke out generosity because you can want to give and you can want to be generous, but you have this sense, this feeling that you can't afford to give your time or your money. Well, it's pretty clear, that there's a multifaceted approach here, and poverty affects lots of areas of our lives. But it's also clear that poverty is not an economic problem. It's much deeper than that. Lack in any area of our lives, either we can think about sort of the basic areas of, like shelter and food and clothing. But there's more complex areas as well that we have needs in, like opportunities and friendship and affection and knowledge. And when there's lack in any of those areas, it affects us very deeply, and God cares about that. And if you ask yourself this, how many of that list that we just went through of the poverty symptoms do you see actively in our culture today? Doesn't it seem interesting that even in the wealthiest country in the world, and in a season in history where we have access to more than we've ever had access to, and we could figure out how to clothe and feed every person on this planet, that people go around still believing that there isn't enough? Heck, I believe that there isn't enough still. Maybe you do too. Well, you and I instinctively know, right, that it's not really what we have or don't have that determines our joy and our happiness, right? We all know people who are miserable and wealthy, and we know people who are miserable and poor. But we also know people who are happy and rich, and people who are happy and poor. We kind of know this, right? That it's clear that the abundance of money does not determine whether we are deeply satisfied in our life or we are constantly stressing in lack, right? Well, God's intention, his desire for you and me has always been to give us more than enough. And more than that, for us to receive more than enough, to help us, to flourish in our work, in our family, in our relationships, and in our purpose to make a difference. He wants to give us more than we can even imagine. And one of the things with poverty is what we can imagine God has for us is actually more limited than what he has in mind for us. He actually wants to blow the doors off what we think is possible. And if I'm honest, this has really been an area of serious growth for me, actually for years. And this area of at some point, I began a prayer. And it came out of this awareness that I had this, I began to recognize there's this symptom in me of self-sufficiency where I would be like, oh yeah, no, it's okay, thank you, it's okay. And it was related to things like receiving compliments, receiving, a gift from someone. I noticed it felt uncomfortable. And I had this sense of like, it's interesting how my hands do that automatically. No, it's good, yeah, it's all okay. And that self-sufficiency, I realized at some point, was actually keeping me from receiving what I was asking God for. So I began this prayer, ask God to increase my capacity to receive. And truly, growing and receiving abundance it's a process. I wish it was just like that. We could say that prayer and it would be it. But it really is a consistent process because there's a lot entangled in this. I want to pray with you, as we close. I want to pray for you for blessing, for increased capacity yourself, for opportunities to come that you are not expecting. And if you want to grow in the area of even, say, money management skills, or maybe there's another area of poverty that, as we talked about, you felt nudged about, I can pretty much guarantee you that whatever part of this affects you, there's going to be some skill development involved in growing and improving in this area. I encourage you to embrace that. Around here, a couple times a year, we have a financial, a introduction to financial management called Money Matters. I encourage you to put it on your list when it comes around again. It's a great tool for your tool belt, but it's not all. And I want to encourage you to run a bit of an experiment. Whether you have been walking with God a long time like I have, or maybe you're new at this whole idea, it doesn't matter. There's a great experiment I encourage you to take, and it's to pray that prayer for God to open the doors for you, opportunities for growth. But here's the thing, don't do that unless you're actually willing to take some action. Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to have an idea. You're going to have a friend mention something to you. You're going to have a podcast pop in front of you, a course, a book. You are going to start getting some answers, but it's going to require you to take action. And if you don't, you're going to find that the next time you're not going to notice the answer as clearly. And here's what's always true, is it never comes at a convenient time. I'm giving you a little hint here. You're always going to have to trade something. So when you have that sense and you have an answer to your prayer and you have this thing come up and say, you know what, that's not convenient for me right now, I've warned you. You're going to have that happen. And God is about the practical helping of us and with the underlying pieces. So I want to leave you with these words that Jesus spoke. I came that you may have life and have it abundantly overflowing. Will you pray with me? God, thank you so much that you care about these parts of our lives that under the surface are just so often stressing out. And thank you that you have what we need in this area. You have more than enough for us. And I just pray for each one of us that whatever it is in our own hearts that you're wanting to free us from the prison that we've been in around abundance, I pray that you would highlight that for us. And I pray for everyone listening. I pray for abundance. I pray for blessing, a new blessing that they haven't even experienced yet. New ideas, new opportunities to come. And I pray for courage when those come, that each one would be able to take action on that and receive what it is that you're wanting to give us. And we pray this together in Jesus' name. Amen.
Good morning, TMP. My name is Glenn Kelso, and I'm part of the team that delivers our Sunday morning classes. If we were meeting together at the theater, this would be the time when our ushers would pass a small bag from row to row for our in-service offering. Even though we're not physically sitting side by side, we want to give you the opportunity to contribute to the mission and vision of our church. That is, to unleash God's extravagant love on this city. There are a number of ways you can give, and you can check them out at the address on your screen. themeetingplace.org/donate. All the digital options are there, and for those who like to write a check, just mail it to the address on the website. My wife Carol and I like to give through direct deposit. That allows us to budget money aside each week so that we can give consistently, even on the occasional Sunday when we're not in church. However you decide to give, we want to thank you for your generosity. Enjoy the morning, TMP.
Hey everyone, my name is Peter. I'm the Youth and Young Adults Pastor here at the Meeting Place Church, and welcome to TMP Life, where we want to let you know about all the awesome things happening in the life of TMP and how you can get connected. Have you joined a connection group yet? There are lots of awesome groups meeting every week, and people are loving it as they're finding a place to connect in community and to grow in their relationship with God. To find more information and to join a connection group, just head to themeetingplace.org and click the Connection Groups button at the top of the page. City Youth. Our summer calendar is here, and we would love for you to come hang out with us at all of our events that are happening this summer. There's a few that are going to be in person, most of them are going to be online, and we're going to be observing all of BC's social distancing rules when we get together. But if you're in grades 6 to 12, we would love to have you join us. So just head to themeetingplace.org/youth and you can find all the information. For more information about what's happening at the Meeting Place Church, just head to themeetingplace.org or email admin@themeetingplace.org. We hope you have a great week, and don't forget to get connected.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. We're going to sing some more songs, and I invite you to, whether you're sitting on the couch, close your eyes and sing along if you know the words, or stand up and stand on your kitchen table and sing. Grab your kids and do a dance. Whatever you want to do, it's just, it's awesome that we're all together and we can sing. And thanks for being here. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before. Oh my soul, I'll worship your holy name. The sun comes up, it's a new day dawning. It's time to sing your song again. Whatever may pass and whatever lies before me, let me be singing when the evening comes. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Oh, my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul, I'll worship your holy name. You're rich in love and you're slow to anger. Your name is great and your heart is kind. For all your goodness I will keep on singing. 10,000 reasons for my heart to find. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before. Oh my soul, I'll worship your holy name. And on that day when my strength is failing, the end draws near and my time has come. Still my soul will sing your praise unending. 10,000 years and as I rise, the strength of God, go before, lift me up, and as I wait, eyes of God, look upon me, be my side. As I wait, heart of God, satisfy and sustain. And as I hear voice of God, lead me on, be my guide, be my guide. Sees me, Christ be all around me, above and below me, before and behind me, in every eye that sees me, Christ be all around me, yeah. As I go, hand of God, my defense by my side, as I rest, breath of God fall upon me, bring me peace, bring me peace, above and below me, before and behind me, in every eye that sees me, Christ be all around me, above and below me, before and behind me, in every eye that sees me, Christ be all around me, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Christ be all around me, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Christ be all around me, yeah. Your life, your death, your blood was shed for every moment, your life, your death, your blood was shed for every what you started. By the power of your mighty love, you will make all things new. You will make all things new. Jesus, you are reigning. You are righteous. You are Lord. Jesus, you're the Savior. Every heart is longing for. Let hope arise in every corner of the earth. Let hope arise, yeah. In the middle of the darkness, the light of the world has come. You will make all things new. You will finish what you started. By the power of your mighty love, you will make all things new. Jesus, you will make all things new. So sing, sing, the Lord is our deliverer. Oh, sing, sing, the Lord is our deliverer. Oh, sing, sing, the Lord is our deliverer. His love will never fail. So sing, sing, the Lord is our deliverer. So sing, sing, the Lord is our deliverer. Oh, sing, sing, the Lord is our deliverer. His love will never fail, no. Let hope arise. Let hope arise. Let hope arise. Let hope arise. In the middle of the darkness, the light of the world has come. You will make all things new. You will finish what you started. By the power of your mighty love, you will make all things new. Yeah, Jesus, you will make all things new. Well, thanks again for being with us. Hope you guys have an amazing week full of blessing and the presence of God and community with your family and other people in your life. Thanks again for joining us. We've got Zoom groups online. You can learn more about those in the chat that's happening right now. And we will see you next week, I hope. Give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn my back around. Give me one reason to stay here, baby. called you. Guess I called you many times. You can call me baby, you can call me anytime. You got to call me. So give me one reason to stay here, baby, and I'll turn right back around. Give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn right back around. Because I don't want to leave you lonely. You gotta make me change my mind. Well, I don't want no one to squeeze me. They might take away my life. I don't want no one to squeeze me. They might take away my life. Well, I just want someone to hold me, oh, and rock me through the night. Oh, this year I can love you, oh, and give you what you need. Oh, this year I can love you, oh, and give you what you need. But I'm too old to go chasing around, wasting my precious energy. Oh, give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn right back around. Give me one reason to stay here, baby, and I'll turn right back around. Because I don't want to leave you lonely. You better make me change my mind. Because I don't want to leave you lonely. You better make me change my mind.